Greeks?
Yeah, I know.
They just left you out there, buddy.
Hi, Birdie.
Alright, sorry for the technical difficulties. But they were popular among the ancient Greeks and the wealthy Romans. Now, African greys are actually considered to be the most intelligent species of bird. They have the ability to associate words with meaning and understand the concepts of shapes, numbers, and colors. Now, Sierra is still young. He's only about a year old, so while he's not really talking, what he's going to do is kind of mimic the noises that he hears throughout the day. And oftentimes the noises that he's going to make are the obnoxious noises. He actually prefers to do a truck backing up. That's one of his favorites. But they also, in your house, will do things like alarm clocks going off and microwaves beeping, trucks backfiring. But he's not really doing words yet. He has nothing on a cue. Right now, we're just going to reward him for anything that he says. Get him used to the sights and sounds of the animal theater, what goes on during a show, people walking around and cameras flashing. He's also learning to say things into the microphone. But that was Sierra. Now you can see he was wearing that harness. He is actually going to be one of our free flight birds here at the park. So we want to be able to use him currently without the fear of him flying away. He has those wings, and he's starting to figure out what they do. So we want to use him without the fear of him flying away. Now pretty much anywhere it is hot and humid, you're going to find a member of the skink family. There's actually about 800 species of skinks in existence, and this is Irwin. Now Irwin is a blue-tongued skink, and he's native to Australia and New Guinea. He's diurnal, which means he's active during the daytime. Now blue-tongued skinks are ground-dwelling, so he's going to seek out shelter in hollow logs under rocks, leaf litter, and other ground debris. He's only going to be about 2 feet long, so he is full grown, but he has this light coloration in order to easily blend into the ground. But his main defense is that vibrant blue tongue, which when threatened, he sticks out in an attempt to distract or ward off potential predators. Kind of like the mimicking of a king snake to a coral snake, or a viscera to a monarch butterfly. Most predators associate that bright coloration with being either poisonous or foul-tasting. He'll also hiss and puff up his body, trying to appear as big and bad as he possibly can. But should somebody still want to eat poor Irwin, he does have one last thing he can do to hopefully allow him to get away, and that is the ability to break off part of his tail. There's weakened vertebrae in the tail. Hopefully that piece will distract who's ever trying to eat him long enough for him to get away. He will regenerate that tail over time and get to live another day. But I'm going to go ahead and put Irwin down here while we get ready to bring out our next animal. This is King Louie, and Louie is a Florida king snake. Now these snakes are typically found in farmland and sugarcane fields throughout central Florida. And Yelena is going to attempt to feed King Louie, so if anybody does not want to watch, if they'll simply just close their eyes for me, I'll tell you when it is safe to open them. You don't have to worry about King Louie killing anything. He's trained to eat food that is already dead. But boas are constrictors. King snakes are constrictors, like boas. And oftentimes they're eating food that is 2 to 3 times the size of their own head. This is similar to you and I trying to eat something the size of a watermelon. Now in order to do this, they unhinge their lower jaw from their upper jaw, and then they move one side up and then the other, basically walking it into their mouth. Now once he gets it all the way into his mouth, his body muscles will take over, pulling it towards his stomach. And then he will do a big yawn in order to set his jaw back in the right location. But looking at Louie, you may think he's wet and slimy. The snakes are actually smooth and dry like our fingernails. Their skin's made out of the same thing, keratin. Now snakes should not be feared any more than any wild animal. They would much rather get away than attack you. Perhaps our fear of them stems from the fact that some are venomous, but only 6 out of 40 snakes living here in Florida are. Louie is not one of them. So you are actually more likely to die from being struck struck by lightning than you are from a venomous snake bite. And it is safe to look if anybody did not want to watch. But snakes would much rather get away than attack you. Now, snakes are not only a vital member of the food chain as both predator and prey, but they play an important role in pest control. They keep farmers' crops safe from rodents, which destroy billions of dollars of crops each year. They provide free termite control for your houses, and some snakes, like the king snake, which is why they are the king of all snakes, will kill venomous snakes. If a venomous snake were to bite him in the attack, he would not be affected by that snake's venom. However, if the same snake were to bite himself, he could die from his own venom. But that was King Louie. Now our next animal coming out is actually a free-flight bird, so if you guys just want to remain seated while he is flying around on stage. This is Rainbow. Come on out, Rainbow.
Rainbow, come on out. Say Rainbow, come on out.
Now, Rainbow is a sun conure, and they make it because when they fly through the sky, a flock of them will actually resemble a sunset. But these birds are typically found in South America, where they will live in the savannas, in small flocks of only about 4 to 12 birds. Now, there's about 300 species of parrots ranging in size from 4 inches to 40 inches. And Sierra was also a member of the parrot family, but they're all going to have 3 distinguishing features. The first being those zygodactyl feet. Now that's a big word. Simply means they have 2 toes that face forward and 2 toes that face backwards. It not only allows them to have a very strong grasp, but it lets them use their feet like hands to manipulate food and objects close to their mouth. Now the second feature is that curved hook feet. And as a general rule for birds, you can tell what they eat by their beak and their feet. And Rainbow uses his beak, much like a nutcracker, to open a variety of nuts and seeds. Now the third feature is his coloration. And while he's not green to blend into his environment, he does have that bright coloration so that they can find one another within a heavy tree canopy. And oftentimes that coloration will become more intense as they age. But that was Rainbow. Now after the show, there is an alligator chit chat at 3 o'clock today over by the alligator boat. There's also a giraffe training session at 4 o'clock if you're still around. Pretty much any animal in the park is trained to some level, so if you want to check that out. But our next animal is actually a Florida native and can be found all the way from the Florida Keys all the way up to North Carolina.